Good afternoon. My name is Joseph, and basically the background that I would like to share with you is I've been an industrial engineer for the better part of 20 years. My expertise covers a lot of things from environmental engineering to electronic and electrical devices to, it's a gamut. I've been hired by some of the larger corporations to do everything from information, technology, internet, all that kind of stuff. And the thing that has me most worried these days is the way this smart meter issue has been truthfully rammed down everybody's throat, that it's good for everyone and that basically this technology is safe and we should just look the other way and allow it to naturally proceed as the way opens. I disagree with this very adamantly on a number of factors. First of all, it has been documented around the world, especially in Switzerland, that the electromagnetic pollution that's happening from cell phones, cell towers, and other microwave media is proliferating at an incredibly furious pace, and it's causing massive health effects because we know for a fact from research done in Germany that microwave radiation interferes with DNA replication. This is a proven fact. This is not hearsay. It's plainly available on the internet and through many credible medical journals. And especially the Russians, who actually did most of the major research with DNA and microwave radiation and its effects. Their studies have proven conclusively that it is the cause of genetic mutation, which equals cancer. Now, this is not me saying this. This is available on the internet. The thing what I also disagree with is that basically the basic rights of the individual are being violated. They're being forced into a grid system where the pattern of radiation is going to become a net that's going to blanket entire cities. Therefore, no place will be safe or a diminished source of this microwave radiation. The way the meters are located strategically in clusters, especially in apartment buildings, is extremely problematic because then you have these very strong electromagnetic bursts. And in the long term, I can definitely see there's going to be a large correlation between what they call EMF smog poisoning, which basically means people who are already sensitive due to environmental contaminations, which are, again, documented facts. These are things that are available through many medical journals. These people are being literally squeezed out of their homes, squeezed out of their communities, squeezed out into the real remote burbs and even farther away just to get away from this influence in order to live a somewhat normal life. Small children are immediately affected by microwaves because they're very sensitive. And this type of movement of let's just distribute this unproven technology, not safe technology, is something of a problem in the long term. Because once they're in place, then these incidents of disease, which will obviously come into a major wave, is going to tax everyone because it means it's going to tax the insurance industry. It's going to tax the medical system because more people are going to be ill, more people are going to be off. And so you can see how this boat is going to nosedive with this. And it's all for, as Hydro says, for more smarter use of power, green power. I disagree with that. That is not a smart use. On the backside, we know for a fact places where these meters have been installed, the charges have gone up by 50% because they're timing you exactly when you use this and this. And then on the last note, the part that really this is where I know from my own experience with digital electronics. The fact is every electronic device, whatever it is, the way it operates, it has a fingerprint signature, like a melody, like Mozart, let's say. It has a 100-piece orchestra and each note and everything is documented, and that's why we can read sheet music. In reverse, the smart meter basically watches everything that goes on in the house down to the microsecond. It tells them what was turned on, when it was turned on, how long it was used for, and that's all data. That's all private stuff. And basically the idea of that information floating around, that it's connected to an address, basically means that you are being spied on. The BC Securities, the Private Property Securities Commission has laws against this, yet Hydro is basically ignoring this basic fact that spying on us is illegal because we are not consenting to it. There was no contract offered to it, and none of us have signed onto that contract. And therefore, I basically, on my own personal stance, say no. I don't give you authority to spy on me. I don't give you authority to spy what I do in my own home. And the bottom line is, I would say, and I would ask everyone to stand on their ground with this and say no to spying. Because that level of, the word spying just keeps coming up, is illegal in Canada. I mean, most police, RCMP, CSIS, whoever, they need to go to a judge, have probable cause, get a warrant, and et cetera, et cetera. This is information wide open on such a level, it just honestly disturbs me to my core. So there's so many different aspects of this which are truly wrong. At this day and age, when how many people in the public have said, please, no, we're not interested in playing along with this. The meters we have are accurate. There's no reason to put in a smart meter other than the one thing which I know from I've seen the schematics, there's an actual relay in every smart meter. If a person doesn't pay their bill, they go, and you have no power to your house. Well, also under the Canadian rules, right, under specific Canadian rules, that type of aggressive control over a necessity for life, because if power gets cut off to your house, you have the potential of freezing to death, especially in the winter, now that we're going into the winter months. I disagree with that. So, you know, you can look at this. This is like Big Brother on steroids, and I think that's where we have to stand up and say no, thank you. Another side note, when we go back in history a few years ago when Gordon Campbell was Premier, one of the issues that I found very disturbing was the fact that he brought through specific legislation, the BC Utilities Commission, and brought in acts that sidestep BC Hydro and smart meters. And the way that movement came through, you could see it was a preempted movement. It was pre-designed, preordained. That disturbs me because, again, it's a public official who's obviously taking bribes and doing things against the public best interest. In that sense, that's why I would definitely suggest, like some of the places in the States where people get together in a larger mass and hold a class action lawsuit against the individuals, the public officials, who have basically manipulated and coerced and brought into existence these laws which bystep or sidestep proper public process. Because when you can see that it's a hands washing hands deal, and you obviously know it must have been for some kind of nice payoff, that's a problematic thing with public officials. They should be held accountable. Like in Spain, zero tolerance for public officials doing illegal acts. They're no longer honorable at that point. They're criminals, and they should be charged as criminals, because that's the only message we can send them. Basically, we're entrusting you with our safety and our community and what we feel is right for all of us. And if you step outside that boundary, then you need to be held accountable. Because if I'm the CEO of a corporation and I walk outside what's best for that corporation, then guess what happens? I get tried and I get charged. And if it really looks very negative, then I even get tried as a criminal. And yet it's like Gordon brings in these laws, or allows these laws to be manifested, and he's scot-free. You know, it's almost like the same deal when he was in Hawaii and was caught drinking and driving, and anywhere else he would have come back to his place and they would have removed him from his seat because he is not honorable at that point. So I'm surprised that we're still dealing with this, you know, this little shuffle it under the carpet deal.